Hello and welcome to another episode of the Park Hopper Show with Paul. And today I have a very special guest, Jenny Bingham, and she is here to talk all about Disney, of course, but especially, I believe, we're going to get into some of the holiday season that is coming up. So, Jenny, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I live in Frederick, Illinois. I am a travel planner, and going on a couple of years now. And this is my side gig, to be honest. I have another job as well. I am the manager for a call center. But personally, I am married for, what year are we in? How long have I been married? 17 years, I think.
Oh,
I think 17 years. And we have a 15-year-old who will be 16 in February. She's getting closer and closer to her license. And then we have a 10-year-old golden retriever, Shelby.
Well, I think maybe we just scrap this whole Disney thing and we get into a support group for what you just did. So you're going to have a 16-year-old driver.
Yes. And it's been an adventure. And, it's so crazy whenever you have a child that's driving themselves and, you're kind of nervous about it and you're trying to remember like how you were when you started driving. But then you get them behind the wheel and you're like, they're actually picking this up a lot better. And maybe I don't know. It's been fun.
Well, that is good to hear because my oldest daughter just turned 13 and that's bad enough. She's getting ready to go to high school and it's already hurting me. But to think about the times when I started driving for her to have anything to do with who I was at that time in my life sounds like a man.
It's crazy. And it's against my cliche, but when they say it goes fast, it goes fast.
So fast. And I mean, she's upstairs making dinner now. So this is nice off the road because I've seen her walk. Bless her heart. If you ever see this, Addie, I'm sorry, but you know who you are. So, all right. Well, it is, as we're recording this, just before Thanksgiving, and you have a big trip coming up next week, and you are heading to, I knew you were going to Disney because, once again, I met Jenny on Instagram and was following her, and I saw she's an excellent poster. She's an excellent follow. She gives lots of good tips. She is very personable on there, and like I always tell these people, you need to be on your Instagram more. You need to be able to see you, and where you turn the camera to yourself and people start talking. If you're going to hire somebody on the internet, you want to hire somebody you at least you can visualize that you were talking to them on the phones.
Right.
I don't understand just the post and, hope people, it's a major purchase. People want to see who they're shopping with. So tell me.
And it builds trust too with that person, I think. Yeah. It's like whenever I could see someone and I could hear them talk, like it builds that trust.
You would be shocked on how many people are travel planners online that they never speak, they never show their self on camera. And it's fine if you want to grow your Instagram page, but if you're really trying to, build your business out from it, I would suggest, get on there, let people see who you are, let them hear you speak, let them know you because you're kind of just selling yourself. So you do an excellent job of that. And that, I found you, I said, she'd be good on this, I think. So next week, Disney, and you're going to Disney World, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're also going to Universal as well?
Oh, yes. That's my second. Well, I can't even say it's my second love because honestly, I don't know that I'm like that parent that can't choose between her children, of course. So yeah, no, I love them both. I'm excited about both.
Well, you say that, but you don't know how long you and your husband have been married. So I'm not sure I should believe him.
Katie, sometimes I don't remember how old I am. So I have to
that's fair. My wife is 1 year younger than me. And for a while she said, can you believe we're both going to be 40 next year? And I said, no, because I'm 40 right now. And we have never once been the same age the time we've been together. So we've been married for 16 years as well. So it's like, babe, come on. So I get it. Well, tell me, I'm in the Christmas spirit. I don't know. I've got my lights on back here. I've got my Magic Candle Company smells going. My kids came home from school today and came in the office and said, what is happening in here? I tell them, this is my Christmas overlay. The rest of the house is not yet until Thanksgiving because we host Thanksgiving. So we can't put out all the stuff because we don't want to be great. But this area, it smells nice. There was some Christmas music going. Tell me what you've got looking forward to coming up at this. Let's start at Disney World. What all you're going to be doing there?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously, I can't go to Disney World and just go to the party. So, I have a ticket ready to go, and we're going to, peek at the parks a little bit beforehand. I think we actually are starting still out at Magic Kingdom because I have yet to ride Tiana's yet. So, we definitely want to cross that off the list as early as we can. And if not, party wait times are usually pretty low, so we could probably get that in there too. And because, Food and Wine is at the tail end of that, are ones who try to, maybe peek into Epcot as well. And this probably, now I'm probably getting a little too adventurous here and I can do 4 parks before today. I can totally do it. But this might be my last time riding Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom. So I might have to peek over there too as long as time allows. But
Well, you're saying peak. You're going 4 in one day is a wild proposition, and on a Christmas night as well. So you are going, I guess, rope dropping something, and
yes.
oh, it's a long but a fun day.
Yeah, and we're staying at Saratoga Springs. So again, we want to make sure we get to the resort to check in and change clothes, of course, before we go to the party. We would like to try to get the party. Well, so the party starts at 7, and of course, Disney World is gracious enough to let you into the park, 3 hours sooner than that. So we want to get in as early as we can. So we plan on that. So I don't know, we'll see. And I was an annual pass holder, but I recently gave that up just because I have a lot going on next year, and I don't know how often I'm going to actually be able to use it. So yeah, I only get 1 ticket this time. That's hard thing. That I know.
I think you do know how you feel about it. I can see it in your face.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because it's like, oh shoot, if I can't get to it on Thursday, I'll just go to Animal Kingdom first thing Friday morning. I don't know.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might actually splurge and just buy a ticket.
once you get down there, you get in that bubble and you just start losing all sense of who you are, where you're at. Then you get home and go, oh, I have made some mistakes. But
yeah.
So I'm used to, or I'm familiar with at least what Magic Kingdom does for the Christmas. That's where the Mickey's Christmas party is. And as I found out, a lot of the hotels from my last episode, it's gingerbread, everything. It seems like there's just, if you bought stock in gingerbread this year, it's going to be a nice end of the season. What do the other parks do for Christmas and holiday overlays? Because like I said, I'm familiar with Magic Kingdom, but not the rest of them so much.
Yeah. So last year, Hollywood Studios debuted their newest holiday event called Jollywood Night. And it's like this old time, you get all dressed up and there's music there and everything. And it's just a big party that they started last year. They brought it back this year. A lot of people are excited about it. I heard because, just like with anything here at Disney, you hear some pros about it, you hear some cons about it. But it sounds like whatever happened last year, they took whatever feedback they could and have made some different implementations for this year. So yeah, and I saw that they had their party, I think, the first party is either Friday or Saturday, and people had nothing but good things to say about it still. So it seems to be a pretty hot new event still.
Nice. All right. Does Animal Kingdom do stuff as well?
No, not specific. Well, besides the Merry Menagerie. So they do have, the special Merry Menagerie that comes out different parts of the day. So, and crazy enough, I have yet to meet the Merry Menagerie. But there's these people that walk around with, polar bears, and I think there's some kind of bird. I can't remember the type of bird that it is. But puppets. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they come out and people are crazy about them. Let you in on a little secret, which now a lot more people will be happy. So yeah, I'm not as big in character meets, and it's not my priority. I love characters, but it's not my priority to meet characters. So I haven't yet met the Merry Menagerie, which I would love to because, to check off the list, but it's not my priority. But people are crazy about them.
I have seen footage of them online. When you were saying Merry Menagerie, I was like, what animals? But polar bear, wait a minute. Don't have a polar bear. It's Animal Kingdom. It's far too hot. Yeah, those things are pretty cool. I have not seen those in person myself. I will say I'm with you, though, on the character meet and greets. I feel like as a kid thinking about, oh, look who's walking in the park. It's great to see him, run up to him. But sometimes you get there and you're like, I love Donald Duck, but that is a line chip and
Yes.
grill, I can get a picture with them in the background and it's close enough.
Right.
So it's not like they're going to remember me and I don't have anything to sign. So it's fine.
Right.
Do they? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna round it out with Epcot, which they have Festival of Holidays, which is another great big thing. Actually, I think Epcot, there's maybe 2 weeks out of the year that they don't have a festival happening. So
I was going to say Epcot has really turned into the festival place to be. It used to be the world of the future from the 1980s point of view, and then a whole bunch of countries, and now it's kind of a place where people go and eat and drink. But it's fun. But I did not know they had a special Christmas one or a holiday season one. But it makes sense that they do because
and they actually in their amphitheater that they have there, they have special guests during this time of year where they come in and do like the candlelit procession. Like last year they had John Stamos. I looked at the list, but I can't remember some of the names on that. But they had like celebrities that come occasionally throughout the year and do like or not throughout the year, but through the season, and they're guest speakers for their candlelight or their candlelight procession.
Now, I did not realize that's where that was. I always hear about that, and they make the special announcements I hear every year of celebrities coming to do it. I didn't realize that was at Epcot. I don't know. In my mind, I just assumed it was like at a hotel or something, but that's pretty great. And they just got done with their big concert series, right, that they do. I know a lot of people were excited. Some of, was it somebody from 98 Degrees or NSYNC was there this year? There was some... Forgive me if anybody's listening and is excited. A third tier member of one of those bands, and people were so excited, and I just love it because in my heart I'm like, oh, these people are all my age, and they're just so excited about seeing these people one more time. So I will tell you, nothing makes me feel my age more than we'll have 90s music playing in the car, and Bye Bye Bye, the NSYNC song comes on, but it is now labeled as from Deadpool instead of from.
Oh, yes.
No Strings Attached. I'm like, Adeline, I tell my daughter, I'm like, this is not what the song is from. This is from No Strings Attached. This is not from the Deadpool soundtrack. Get out of here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I saw a funny video yesterday where someone said, people who were born in 2000 are now 24, but how can that be whenever I'm still 24?
Ooh. It's nothing worse than that.
The math is not mapping here. I don't know. I can't understand it. Either I'm very wrong or they're very wrong.
I can tell you what, I think you're correct. And I would kindly tell these meme people they can stop because we get it. There was one today. It was if the Wonder Years took place now, it would be in 2004. And I was like, no, that can't. Oh, those people were only 20 something years old. Oh my gosh. Well, great.
Yeah.
We're just
just a couple of years ago. So I don't know what I'm talking about.
I just turned to dust, I think a little bit. So it's bad news. So. Well, so back to the happiness that's coming up. Forget the past. All right. You're also going to Universal.
Yep.
And it was not until also today that I even considered now Universal, they've been doing it big lately with Halloween to a crazy degree. Like Disney is the big family friendly, cutesy, here's some candy. And Universal's like, you're going to need a fresh pair of pants when you're done with this place. It seems like just realistic makeup and the scares. I didn't realize they did Christmas. What do they do for this?
Yeah. Which, by the way, Halloween at Disney is definitely more my speed. I am not a scary movie person. So Halloween at Universal will probably be one I skip quite a bit. But no, so at Universal, their biggest thing, of course, is the Grinch, and they have, they have the Whoville people that are all dressed up as well, and they have the holiday, and I'm actually doing breakfast with the Grinch Saturday morning. So, but yeah, of course, I'm a Hogwarts or a Harry Potter person. They have Hogsmeade all decorated and Diagon Alley, and there's a special Hogwarts Castle show specific to the holidays as well. So, they get all into Christmas as well.
Well, that it makes sense, and I've had this conversation with several people before. So you're a big Harry Potter person.
I am, yeah.
I'm going to have two things for you, but the first one is it's always strange that they celebrate Christmas because they're witches. It seems like they would be very against celebrating what the church would be celebrating, and always find that comical when they're like, it's a Halloween movie and it's a Christmas movie. I don't think it's or it's both. I don't know. We're going to go off on a tangent here. Can you convince me to love Harry Potter? Because it's on my list of things. I see it on your, it's good to be able to go through somebody's profile and really get a profile of who they are. And you're very big into Disney and Universal, but you especially seems like you have a place in your heart for Harry Potter. So
yep.
I used to be a Star Wars person, so I get it. But what is the great thing about Harry Potter?
So imagine this, okay? So, as a child, you probably have a book series if you're a reader that you just loved. And whenever you're reading that book, your imagination just completely immerses you into that book. Imagine stepping into that world realistically. And being in Harry Potter world at Universal does that for you. It's like taking your childhood love to the next level, because not only could you, here I have a book right here, not only can you feel it in the pages, but you can actually step into that reality and actually, see the dragon. I'm getting up. You can see the dragon of atop Gringotts. You can walk into, Ollivanders and see a wand ceremony. It just being able to feel it and see it in that atmosphere that you read during your childhood. That is, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. That's what makes you fall in love with it, because your childhood just became a reality.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not bad. I will say.
That's the first before.
Okay. Well, so I had a guest on here who was a big Star Wars person, and I had to kind of give her the bad news that I'm kind of out. I really enjoy the ones from my childhood, but the new stuff just hasn't captured my attention quite so much. But the first time that I went to Bantu, the Hollywood studios, that's pretty amazing. And and I get mad at my kids all the time whenever they have any kind of issue, because I tell them, when I was a child, to have everything that's comic books and Star Wars and all this stuff, that is the pop culture. Like, that is the cool thing to have. And you could just go somewhere and you're at Star Wars. Now you're you're in Harry Potter right now, and it's just amazing. So I do get that feeling, the first time there's the Millennium Falcon, it's actually right there. It's so well done. So I have not yet been to the Harry Potter portion of Universal, because my kids don't like rides, like fast rides. They like Disney rides, but roller coasters aren't their thing. So we're still, holding off until they can go and have a good time too.
Yeah. I will say, roller coaster wise, so there's really only, the riding in Gringotts is, it's like an indoor roller coaster. And then of course there's Hagrid's. Hagrid's is probably, besides, the Velocicoaster, it's probably hands down the best ride in all of Orlando. Not even gonna lie.
Whoa.
That's a big feat,
Which one was that? Hagrid's?
So Hagrid's motorbike adventure. Constantly. And it's a long ride, and it's a good one. And there's a lot of surprises in it. And I never spoil it away until someone rides it for the first time themselves, because I don't like giving away spoils. But it's a good ride. And if they don't have the courage to ride something like that, they have to ride Hagrid's.
Now, is that the one that you lay on it? It's like Tron, where you get down as a bike.
Yeah. So there's the motor. So you have the motorbike's passenger seat, and then you have the actual motorcycle to the side. So yeah, it's simply you have two people that started the price side. So yeah, like Tron.
Well, I like what you said about it being a long ride, because that was my one complaint about Tron, was it was so fun, and then, it's already over? Well, that was zippy. Maybe you take 2 laps around it. Seems kind of brief. But no, I have no beef with Harry Potter or any of those rides there. People get so excited about it, and you're drinking butterbeer. I see a lot of butterbeer.
Oh my gosh, it is so good. Like, if you like cream soda or like a root beer, you don't like cream soda? Okay. Well, do you like beer? You don't like beer either? Oh my gosh.
It's going to be a hard pass on it.
No, it's really good. And again, it just, I was so happy that I felt like it was a good tasting drink. because then, again, you read that in the books. And I also, what I really like is, Harry Potter is something from my childhood, but then parents who loved Harry Potter, they're trying to then teach it to their kids. And of course, if you're not a reader, the movies are just as wonderful too. So yeah, it's Harry Potter. It's you should. Gosh, I know. I don't know, to convince you. It just, I don't know. It just has that special feeling where. But again, I comes from a different level of mind too for reading the books. But
Yeah, I mean,
you should go because there's always something special around the corner to there.
well, it sounds fun and it always looks fun. Whenever there's like a super fan of something like that, that's just a complete blind spot for me. I'm always interested to hear why is that so great? Because, like I said, I was like, why are the new Star Wars so great? Because so many people seem to hate them, but then some people, they just really love them. Are you excited about the new Harry Potter show that's coming out?
I am. So I've seen that. I actually, gosh, it's probably been a couple of months since I've seen them bring up any new updates on it. So I haven't heard anything since then. But yeah, and once I heard that they were putting something together, I'm like, okay, this is going to be exciting because you have books, you have the movies, and then it kind of just stops. And, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of if something was so good the first time, don't try to replicate it. But I think this is going to be something entirely different. And just made me think about something too. I'll take it as a challenge maybe. I'm actually curious, people who are interested in Harry Potter and go to Harry Potter World at Universal, but if they have not read the books or watched the movies, what does draw them to that? I'll be very curious. Because I think most of the people that I come across, it's some type of nostalgia for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I have read none of the books, but I have seen all the movies, and they are all very well done. They're all, those are some good movies, especially for someone who's not familiar with any of the stuff behind it. And my wife read all the books last year. I don't know, honestly. I don't know why this is turning into a Harry Potter podcast, but my daughter loves to read, and she loves what I would call nerdy things, and she really gets into. Like, she's so into Percy Jackson right now, and that TV show was good, and she was really into that. But she's never once got into Harry Potter. And it's strange to me because it seems like she is ripe for that kind of just get absorbed in it and have a giant book, and then have 6 more or 7 more giant books to read, and I don't understand. So it's not really been in my house too much either. But I look forward to it if it does one day because, like I said, I enjoyed the movies and I would love to go to the place. Well, so now Universal, I saw also interesting. They're announcing more of their big news for next year. They've been showing the first teaser commercial in a while has shown up. So what is going on there next year?
Yeah. So you have Epic Universe coming May of next year. It's going to be epic. There are 5 new worlds that will be included in that land, or in that land. So you had Super Nintendo World, that's at Universal Hollywood. So now it's coming to Orlando. I've seen the one in Hollywood. Oh my gosh!
Yes, I would like to.
Yes, it's like walking your childhood. It's amazing.
That's what I thought of when you said, you like it's the nostalgia. You walk right into it, and there was pictures of you with Toad on your Instagram. And I was like, wait a minute, she has been there. So I would like to hear about the rest of what's coming. But can you walk me through how Nintendo World was? Because that's the one that we're most excited about at our house.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Like as soon as before you walk in, at least the one in Hollywood, they have like the famous summer, pipes that, you see Mario jump out of or jump back into. So they have those. That's fun because, they created a fun little video or photo. And as soon as you walk in, you just hear all the sounds. So like whenever you would hear Mario squish something or blast a fireball, like you just hear all the Nintendo sounds that you remember as a child. And it's really cool. Like there's like this little game that you can play if you have one of your power bands on, and you're like, punching all the coin blocks and everything, and it just, it's really cool. And you have the mushroom that with the kind of like a Venus flytrap. That's super live.
A piranha plant.
Exactly. There you go. I didn't know the name of it, but yeah, you have those there, and going into Bowser's castle, and just, my gosh. For Harry Potter and Nintendo World.
Well, when you describe that, I know Piranha Plant. I could tell you some of these characters. Nintendo is really what my childhood was. So I've seen the one in California just in videos. That was the one thing. Also don't like spoilers. You know, anytime I know I'm going to go do something, like the first time I rode Rise, I had no idea, like the pre-show, when no spoilers, but I didn't realize it was a 20-minute or 25-minute ordeal because I hadn't watched anything about it because I just wanted to go in blind. But I had to see what Nintendo World looked like, and it looks amazing. And it looks like the one in Florida, they've got extra things covered, like the Donkey Kong ride. That was the one thing. It seems small, the one in California.
It doesn't, it kind of looks like that way, but once you're in there, it doesn't. I mean, I would say there's stuff to see and do in there, but I mean, of course, Orlando's going to make it bigger. I feel like everything's bigger in Orlando. But there's still quite a bit there. And the color, oh my gosh, the color is amazing. Like even whenever you're coming down the escalator and getting ready to, coming down, looking at it there, like the color is just, it makes everything else seem great. It's amazing how much of a pop of color it gives.
So I think that might be, what was messing with me, because it's kind of built down, like it's right. It's kind of like almost like a valley with Nintendo built around it, where you can almost see the whole world in all of the videos online, because it comes like when you turn your camera, all you can see, like they really blocked it all out, where it looks like that. And maybe it looks smaller because you can't see that there's other lands beyond it. So either way, I'm very excited. So what else is going on at the Epic Universe?
Yeah. So of course, adding on to Harry Potter, something else that's big besides like Hogwarts, and some of the other things that are at Orlando now is Ministry of Magic is coming, which is a big deal. Especially once you get into further of like the 5th, 6th, and 7th books, Ministry of Magic is, a little bit more in there. So that's exciting. And then you just have How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, but this week they, I think it was, can't remember who it was, but someone had posted a reaction to a video of the ride that they're doing for that. It looks really long, and it almost looks like it goes through a lot of the park too. So there's that. There's also Celestial Park and Dark Universe. Which Dark Universe? I don't know.
I'm a little nervous already thinking about. I saw some of the animatronics that they released some videos of, and they were shot very spookily. And I don't know if that was just for Halloween to release that, or if it's really going to be as scary as it was. Because I remember when days were young, when I was little, going there, and the monsters still walked around the park. They still had like a makeup show, and I don't know if you ever went in the 90s, but when it was more of like a studio than a theme park, and it wasn't really scary, but those things look terrifying.
They look terrifying. And I've seen pictures from Halloween Horror Nights, and I've seen pictures from that, and I was like, I don't know if that'll be on my list. We'll see.
Well, it looks like they'll have plenty of stuff there. That's the one thing I think they do. When people are like, they're coming for Disney, I think Disney's probably pretty safe, but it's nice to have something else big going on there. That's at least a little bit rivalry. There's a
which I feel like Disney has already kind of countered with that, because they have all these other amazing updates that'll be coming here soon too. With the Villains Park, which I feel like that's been a long time coming. So it is interesting, because like once Universal comes up with an update, 5 seconds later you then get an email from Disney with another update. So yeah, they definitely go forth.
I like when there's competition, and I feel like maybe Universal is forcing their hand. That they said, you know what, you got to do something, because if not, we're going to get big, and people are going to start to notice that you've not updated anything. So you also, speaking of Universal, you got to go on a VIP tour of the one in California.
I did.
What is that like? Because that looked amazing.
Yeah, honestly, especially for Hollywood, that is the way to do it. Hollywood is definitely not as big as the parks at Orlando. And VIP tours alone, they just give you access to everything. So you started out your day with getting a little snack, and then your guide picks you up. We went first to the famous Hollywood studios tour. So we did that. And then you get express access into some rides and attraction. And it doesn't just happen on the tour. Like if you plan on being in the park the rest of the day after the tour ends, that VIP tour or that VIP badge that you have still poses as an express pass. So if I wanted to ride, express on another ride, I could do that still. And they also give you lunch. You learn all kinds of fun little facts and tidbits about the park. We got to go into one of the sets for actually the set that we got to see was Lopez versus Lopez, that newest show by George Lopez movie. I haven't actually seen it. I've heard of it. So we got to see kind of the TV set all set up in there, which was kind of cool. I didn't get to video record it. That was a no-no, but we did also get to see some props and archives that they use for various TV shows and movies. That was really cool. But yeah, no, honestly, if you're going to do Hollywood, especially, the VIP tour is the way to go.
And you can book that for people, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that looks super fun because that was my favorite thing as a child I was really into filmmaking and movies, and like when it was the backlot tour at MGM Studios, and
Yes.
I mean, my kids could care less now. Are like, we got, the Golden Girls house was there and a spaceship.
Oh yeah.
A movie you've never seen, and like, whatever, old man. No, this was exciting when there were 50 new shows a day on,
Right.
just the
Yeah,
magic
for
behind it.
Yeah, no, for sure. If you are a movie fan, and I'm a huge movie fan, doing that tour is a must. And actually, when we were there, I ran into a mom and daughter duo, and they actually come and do that VIP tour every year. And that's now they've been, basically spoiled by doing the tour. They can't just do normal parks anymore. Because what's also different about Hollywood versus Orlando, they do offer VIP tours at Orlando. You have to buy a separate ticket admission still, whereas at Hollywood, it's included.
Well, that is, I think, the one bugaboo about the Epic universe is that it's the 3-day see everything. But I mean, that's a smart move, I think, on their part because they don't want that one park filling up like madness. Do you think I feel like that would be the weekend or the week to go to Disney when that other one opens up and people are for 3 days.
Yeah, I'll be very curious to see what it does to the crowds at Disney. Now, what I also appreciate about Universal and how they're doing it is whenever they open up Epic, you're only allowed to go to Epic one day. So like if I plan on doing a 3-day trip to Universal, I'm only allowed to visit Epic once. And I can say that as a good thing and a bad thing. I see it as a good thing just because they're trying to, control crowd and just give everybody a chance to be able to see it. So yeah, I see it as a good and a bad, but I appreciate that Universal's thinking ahead like that too.
Well, I mean, I think not only do they force Disney to play their hand sometimes, I think they see the things like people lining up for a Figment popcorn basket for 10 hours and go, oh boy, we do not want this nonsense happening here. And, we don't want if they have to be here and they want to be here the first week, they don't want it to be ruined because you get to ride 4 things, then you miss half of the show. So it's not bad. It's good to be able to see what's at number 1. And we could tweak this just a little bit. So I also saw on your Instagram that I saw you wandering around Disneyland like a lost child and just having the most magical time. So what is it about Disneyland that really did it for you?
Yeah. So I will tell you, Disney World. So my first time visiting Disney World was in 2006 and instantly fell in love with it. Yeah, I know. I didn't get to experience Disney as a child. But I instantly fell in love with it. And I had only been to Disney World. I had no desire to visit Disneyland because I thought there's just nothing that can top Disney World. So I got to visit Disneyland for the first time this year. And it was, even though it wasn't nostalgic for me, but I'm also a history fan, and being able to go there, walk where Walt walked, seeing his apartment above, the fire department. I was expecting the castle to be smaller. So of course, there's a little bit of Walt walk, especially if we've already been to Cinderella's castle. But just saw the nostalgia there for a lot of people, like on a lot of the original rides that are there. And some of the new stuff that they have there too. I mean, Disneyland is much smaller park than Disney World, but there's a lot of great things that I think a lot of people don't realize. And actually, for anybody experiencing Disney as a first vacation, they really should consider doing Disneyland first, because you don't feel like you have to go through Disney one-on-one to enjoy a Disney vacation, because even though there's not as much to do at Disneyland, it's a good stepping stone before you take on Disney World. Not that it can't be done, but after experiencing both now for myself, I think there's a lot of missing there for Disneyland, and I don't think a lot of people think about it.
I have heard nothing but good things about Disneyland, and I feel like people think, oh, it's smaller, but it's still, I mean, it's not like a half-day park or anything. It's still
No.
a massive, undertaking. It's not, I think people get real into like going to the one in Orlando, and you almost have to have a battle plan drawn out of
Yes,
what
exactly.
to make the most and see everything, but we're going to have to stick to the schedule, and heaven help us if something breaks down. We're going to miss out 3 things. And the last time we went with a planner friend of ours. We had a whole, the whole day was like full house. Damie Tanner planned out of like how we're going to hit everything. And then we had an injury midday that threw a wrench into the whole thing. It's like, oh no, we're going to miss this, and this because we're at the first aid tent. And I feel like Disneyland maybe is more relaxed than that. It's still,
It is.
it's busy, but it's not madness so much.
And park hopping is a no-brainer there, because I don't know if you saw one of the videos, but like you literally walk out of one of the parks, turn around, and you're already facing the next park. And then of course you have Disney or downtown Disney right there next to it too. So, I mean, one park closes early, so then you leave that park and you go to the next park. Park hopping is a no-brainer. And anytime that I work with a client who's asking about Disneyland, I always tell them, you can do one per day if you want, but I encourage you not to, because it's so simple and easy. And that, Disney World is so big where you can't just walk park to park. And right now that's how Universal Orlando is too. You can walk park to park. But yeah, there's a lot of hidden misses that a lot of people, I think, misconstrue about Disneyland.
Well, so now that you brought that up, I know that one of the big things right now for Harry Potter is if you get the 2-park pass, you can ride the train between parks. But then I heard that the new Epic Universe, where is that going to be? It's not right here, correct?
It's not. And I'm a little sad about that, because again, that's a gem within Universal now. Is kind of like with Disneyland. You walk in through City Walk, you're in City Walk, you have Islands of Adventure to the left, and you have Universal Studios to the right. So that's a huge benefit now with how close it is. But yeah, Epic Universe is actually going to be on the other side. It's not going to be as close to the park. So you are going to have to take a bus to get to that park, unfortunately.
Do you know how far away it is?
It is, oh my gosh.
It's okay if you don't.
It's not a far ride. It's kind of like, it's among like a lot where the hotels are. So it's still within the Universal bubble.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not very far. It's just not within as walking distance as the parks are today. Now, a plus though, with Epic Universe, there is Helios Grand Hotel, which will have direct access into Epic Universe. And that's a first for Universal.
Well, that sounds cool. Like if you wanted to, you could use the same parking garage. All that stuff is still technically in the Universal bubble as they're kind of making it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was not real sure about it. That is another thing that ages me when we go, and I'm like, we're at City Walk. Like when I came here as a child, this was the parking lot. Like you just drove straight up to where that globe spins. Like that was the edge of the parking lot, and you just walked in. And then we came back 20 years later and looked around and they've really done something out here, since I was a kid. But it's really something now. So you had a hot take that I will get to the bottom of, because I can't really speak on it because I've not done it. But Guardians of the Galaxy in Disneyland, you had the audacity to go online and say, better than Tower of Terror. Now, how can you defend that?
So I think it all has to do with theming, to be honest, because it's the exact same ride of Tower of Terror as it is with Guardians Mission Outbreak at Disneyland. And the theming, to me, is what makes it better than Tower of Terror. Now, again, Tower of Terror, I think it's a lot of nostalgia for a lot of people, because there's nothing like, getting greeted by the grim, hotel workers or anything. But just walking in, and I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I think that also has something to do with it. But just walking in and seeing like the pre-show, and again, no spoilers, but seeing the pre-show, and then just walking in and just the music as well, because if you've done Cosmic Rewind at Epcot, they do something very similar for that ride at Disneyland, where it's a different song every time you ride it. And the windows essentially at Tower of Terror that you would, see open whenever you're riding it, they still open, but it's actually screens of the characters like doing different things and stuff, like, shooting off a gun that goes haywire or whatever. But it's the theming alone is what makes that better, in my opinion.
Well, that is wild, because to me, that is the whole appeal of the Tower of Terror, because to be quite honest, I hate it. I hate the drop. I am not a drop person, but maybe it's the nostalgia theming where you walk through and I remember being there the first year it was open and just, this is so cool. Wait in line hours and hours and hours. And now the last time I went on, I hate every second of this. Why am I getting ready to get on this drop that I know was free? I'm not going to enjoy it. I didn't, not for a second of it, but the whole ride before the drop, I'm all about it. So that's good. I've never been to Disneyland, and it makes me sad. I see these things, and it looks real cool. But so if you're a big Marvel person, then that campus, how is that? The Avengers campus?
Oh my goodness, yes, that was actually one of my most anticipated excitement going to Disneyland is knowing that Avengers campus is there. So being able to see Iron Man walking back and forth, or Black Panther. Of course, they also have Pim's Kitchen that is there. They have the Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, the Spider-Man ride is so cool too. And then they have the Spider-Man show where he's like slinging around and all this. And then outside of Guardians Mission Outbreak, they'll have Quill doing like a dance party, and Gamora is also there and stuff. So it is, gosh, Avengers Campus. They're like everybody's Marvel dream. It's so cool.
I'm a little bit surprised on how dorky this is. You got real excited about it. But that's great. That's the kind of stuff that I really love too. So then let me ask you this. What do you think about Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom?
I think he's going to plan for it well. It's going to be hard because of course, we know that Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, and he played that character very well. So it's going to be a change, but I think it'll be one that I think a lot of us will be surprised that we welcome very quickly, because knowing how much of a great actor he is already, I'm excited to see, because I think he puts his own spin on when he plays characters too. So I think of Dr. Doom, or whatever that guy that played it in the Fantastic Four, with like Jessica Alba. I had that, I'd read vision of who Dr. Doom is, but knowing Robert Downey Jr., I'm curious to see what kind of humor spin that he puts on it too. He has, right?
Oh man, I hope so. I feel like they really did a good job of resetting everything by not putting out 15 movies this year. Just Deadpool, and then Agatha All Along I've not finished it yet, but
I haven't watched it yet.
Well, I've heard it's very good. If you liked WandaVision, it's not the same thing, but it's the follow-up, but it's good so far. That is the thing my daughter has gotten into, and she wanted to watch Loki, but then someone said you have to watch Endgame and
oh yes,
the one before that. So we are in the middle of Infinity Wars now, and it's a long time since I've seen it. This movie's really good. This is a 3-hour movie that it really zips along. They're telling 10 different stories, and let's bring that Marvel back where you can watch this movie that makes sense all the way through. You're not looking at your watch the whole time. Like we had a stop it when her little sister got home. Well, this movie's only halfway over. This was
right.
Excellent. So
it wasn't as fun seeing it for the first time in the movie theater. So you had to be very careful with whatever drink and food consumption you were doing, because you did not want to miss anything.
No, that would be one that I would just have to sit it out. I think no eating, no drinking, because we're an hour and a half into it, and there's not been a lull yet. So I love that's. And that's what I try to tell her. I'm like, this was like the nerdy stuff when I was a kid. Star Wars. Oh, you're a comic book person. I'm like, this is the popular stuff, man. So your kids are really living the dream. Well, so I got a hot take from you for Guardians defending that. Can you, if you had to make a decision, West Coast or East Coast theme parks?
Like between like
Yeah.
Guardians or
Well, no, if you took Disneyland and Universal Hollywood versus Walt Disney World Resort and Disney or Universal Orlando, where are you going?
East Coast, just because there's more to do. And I think they learn. So, I mean, of course, West Coast is the original. So I think East Coast has learned from it. And there's just more to do. And it's, everything's bigger, of course. But yeah, East Coast for me, for sure.
Okay. Well, if you had to pick for Orlando Disney or Orlando Universal, it might be tougher.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm going to be honest. I think if I'm a right person, Universal. Universal does rides better than Disney.
That's a theme I get. And I know you said like the few rides that aren't too bad, but the kids can ride them. When I think of Universal rides, the last time we went, I went with my wife before we got married, and it was, there's the Hulk ride, and there's all these like big roller coasters, and then more exciting, like the Spider-Man ride that's there is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And then just, for every what is that ride that nobody likes? Fast and Furious. There's a Velocicoaster. Hey, let's hear about this because
I'm in the minority though, because if you've ever heard anybody say that Transformers, actually not the Mummy, Transformers, Fast and Furious, and there's one other one. They're all basically the same ride. They're just different.
Kong?
Kong, that's it. Yeah, Kong. They're all exactly the same ride. They're just different themes with different screens and everything. I really like them, but is it my favorite ride there? No, but it's a must still for me. I really like them, but a lot of people really dog on them.
Well, so we watch a lot of Disney and theme park YouTube, and it's always funny when people get on there. This was something. This is really, and the graphics look so bad, and I think that might be part of it too. And in all honesty, those movies, they're well. Let me before I say it. What are your thoughts on the Fast and Furious movies? Are you?
Oh, I love them, but I think I know where you're going to go with it. They should have stopped with number 7. Number 1, where Paul was halfway, like it was right in the middle of when Paul had died. And like you would see, some of the graphics where it was actually his brother or whatever. They should have stopped with that movie. Right? You think it's done, they're riding off of the sunset, and it's done. They should have stopped there, in my opinion.
Well, I will tell you that you have misread the room 100% because I think that they have only gotten better because the feelings, Queens and Injuries are so terrible, but they all make $1 billion, and I don't understand. But I remember plainly going to see the first one because it was showing at a drive-in in my city when I was in high school, and I saw it 2 nights in a row with different friends both nights, and that was, to this day, it was one of the worst movies, I think. Because I'm not a car person, this is just a bad movie. It's badly acted. It's bad. The people were so excited because of the car races and the car scene. Yeah. I get it, but I don't love this. But once The Rock came on and these movies started getting out of hand and he's flexing a cast off his arm and they're driving cars into space. First it's helicopters and they're in space and they're kicking missiles. This movie is absurd. But
I agree with you there. The first and second, Tokyo Drift, we won't even include that in there. But first and second movie.
Oh, you got to say it. Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yes. I agree with you there that they didn't get better until the fourth one where The Rock was introduced. So yeah, those for sure, because you had strategy. You had more like, how in the world are they going to pull this ice off? Or how in the world are they going to drive into space? All this. So I do agree with you there, strategy-wise, they got better after the first 2. Even Tokyo Drift was pretty good, honestly.
And better is very subjective because I think movie-wise, I don't know if I'd call it even a film, but, the plot of the first one is they're going to steal VHS, DVD combo things from a truck, and then they're a special ops team at some point, and they're chasing...
It's different furry.
There's a nuclear bomb coming at the Vatican and they're trying to drive. It's like these movies. I can't get enough of them. They're so bad. But every time I see one, I'm like, oh, this, I'm in it for the whole thing because,
Yeah.
and I say, I think there's only one more left, but like, in all honesty, keep making these movies forever.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite. Like you can see on my junk back here, I loved Jurassic Park as a child. But boy, they could stop making those movies because they lost the thread of that one.
No, I think both.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting ready to argue at the end of this.
I think, I don't know. The last one, I think they could have done more with it. The one where they brought back, Dr. Dr. Grant and
Sadler.
Sadler and Ellie. I think they could have done more with that movie. But I really, really enjoyed Jurassic World. And the first Jurassic World.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good. And I really like quotes of that too. But again, I think you're right. It's kind of like when they did the third Jurassic Park. That's kind of how I feel about the third Jurassic World, where it's great. There's more dinosaurs, but I don't know. There was just, the plot was different, I think. I think they kind of lacked on the plot.
Well, so the Fast and the Furious, the infamous 2 in a row, it was a double feature with Jurassic Park 3. And it was 2 nights in a row of 2 of just movies that I could just do without ever seeing again. The first Jurassic Park, I love it so much. And I feel like Jurassic World is like the actual sequel to it. It's the one that makes sense. It's not an action movie per se where they're chasing dinosaurs and hunting. It's like, oh, this is the natural progression of where these movies should be. And now they're making, I guess, more, and I don't understand because the last one was more about locusts. And it was
another one I hadn't heard.
Oh yeah. I think Scarlett Johansson's in it for some reason. They were already either shooting it or it's been written, and I don't understand.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
I think it's part of the Jurassic World brand, which is weird too that they're just continuing that, but it doesn't have any of the people that have been. No Chris Pratt. They're getting away from that, so I'm really not sure. Where they're going with
so they're kind of like starting this cycle over again, it seems like.
I feel like they're doing the Star Wars treatment where they're just like, just move on to the next story. Because in all honesty, there's probably, if there's dinosaurs wandering around, there's probably lots of stories that you're just not telling,
Right.
We don't always have to be chasing them with a motorcycle. There's got to be something else going on.
Yeah.
I feel like we really got off in the weeds there, but.
We did.
I like it.
I mean, we talked about Christmas movies. I mean, gosh, all great topics.
Well, so I have a couple questions for you because we're getting towards the end of this, but as a travel planner who helps people make these vacations magical and for free, remember that, everybody. I don't understand why you would ever, if you ever book one on your own and then had an agent book one for you, you'll know night and day you've made a mistake doing it on your own. You have tips that other people are privy to because you get to go more often than most people do. I saw something about this on your Instagram. What is the best shoes to wear? What are the best shoes? What would you recommend? Because I don't go to the parks as often as I'd like, but sometimes I see a lot of Crocs, and then sometimes I'll see, bless their heart, a woman with heels on, or something like they're on a date and they've got like a big date. That can't be good. So what would you recommend? Because my wife is always having issues with all the walking. So
yeah. So I have a theory that for those who wear heels or like all these fancy shoes, they're taking Disney at a very leisure speed, which I'm totally on board with that too. But I still like my feet to be comfy because, any rest day, you're still going to walk a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the thing about Crocs, I don't get the hype on them. People love them and they swear that they're the most comfortable shoe that they've ever had. I can't get behind them. But for me personally, I'm a tennis shoe person all the way. I'm a big Nike girl. I like my Nikes. So that's usually my first go-to. If it's warmer outside, I really like red Sandals, which basically feel exactly like a sneaker or a tennis shoe. And so, that's my go-to because will it not, depending on what kind of outfit you're going for, will it not go into your outfit? Maybe not. But rest assured, take my advice, keep your feet happy and make them comfortable because you're going to walk a lot.
Well, yes, I always say comfort before fashion. Well, I always say it because I'm a middle-aged man and that's just who I am. But in Disney, you bring up a good point. Are you an outfit person at Disney?
So I was actually more of an outfit person at Disneyland than I am at Disney World, which was very interesting because there's a lot of people who do the whole bounding were at Disneyland, and I got right
Oh,
on
really?
board. Like, yeah, it was really cool. I dressed up as Joy from oh my gosh,
Inside Out.
Inside, yeah. And but no, I am definitely more for comfort when I go. So when I'm at Disney World or Universal, I'm wearing my biker shorts or leggings. I'm wearing an oversized T-shirt, maybe a headband or ears, and my tennis shoes. I'm all for comfort when it comes to East Coast.
Yeah, I don't ever understand. When I see people there and I'm like, you're here early in the morning and you have taken 2 hours to get ready. And I mean, God bless you. You're not me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
going to
no.
be 90 degrees today and 80%
Yes.
humidity and the
Yep.
shoes.
And one trip, I kept track of how much I walked, because I had my watch, so I was calculating it all. And in 1 week, I walked a total of 50 miles.
Yeah, that's wow. And that could have been in heels, and I just don't then did it. So so Crocs, like that's the thing. Like my kids, they had Crocs one time, and neither one of them enjoyed them. And I thought that was so strange because they were allowed to wear them to school. They have
Yeah.
they have uniforms, but they said Crocs are fine as long as you have them in sport mode with the thing in the back. And they said, these are fine. Oh, we thought this is easy. We just get Crocs till they're 18, and we don't have to worry about shoes anymore. And they couldn't stand them, but I've worn them before. I've never had a pair, but I put them on. This is what people walk for. I don't.
I know. My daughter, she had a fetish with them for a little while. She really, of course, liked the charms that you could put on it. But so if I need to walk outside real quick because she's getting to the age where her and I were in the same shoe size, I just let them on real quick and go outside. I will say they're interesting. It's odd how they are kind of comfortable, but no, to do like long distance walking, there's just no way I could fathom. But people do it and they swear by it.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to yuck their yum, as my kids say. They can do whatever they want, and I'll do what I'm going to do. Running shoes, like that's the kind of thing. So, just to end this up, it's getting. I mean, where you are in Illinois, I'm sure it's starting to get chilly as well.
Oh my gosh!
Well, see, I'm dealing with a lot of that in my house now. People are upset about it. I'm like, we have our furnace. It's fine. It's going to be snowing, and I'll be secretly excited, but I can't share it too much because, But if people did not want to go to these parks, you're a big Sandals provider as well. Can you tell me what people can do to get out of town and maybe go somewhere like that? I see that you've been on these trips. Do you have a favorite or somewhere you'd recommend people hit?
Yes, I went to Royal Bohemian in June, and the traveling process was so easy. And actually, if you're one that is traveling out of the country for the first time, going to somewhere like the Bahamas where you don't have to pick up your baggage at Clay to recheck it again at the airport or do all these extra things, that's definitely probably the great first choice to go.
I do not know. Wait a minute. So in the Bahamas, you don't have to, it's not like an international technical. Oh.
Yeah. So it's international, but if you were going to Jamaica. So if I was coming back to the States, I basically you would have to not recheck your bag. You would have to get home, of course. So if I say my first flight back home is in Orlando, I have to re-get my bag from Jamaica to recheck it and take it back to security to make sure I don't have anything extra that Jamaica baby did not catch before I go back home to Illinois. So yeah, that's a huge plus with Bahamas is that they already have a system in place where you don't have to do all that extra. So that was easy. And of course, I don't like cold. So obviously today I just put something else in my stories where it is getting chilly here today. And I was completely thinking of sunshine. And yeah, that's where I'd want to be. So me personally, to cure the vacation winter blues, go somewhere warm.
In the Bahamas. That's not a long flight either.
No, it's so for me to get to Orlando, it takes about a 2.5 hour flight. And then to get to the Bahamas, it was, an hour flight. So you're talking 3.5 hours total to get to the Bahamas, depending on your layover port, of course, at Orlando. And yeah, you're there. And of course, Sandals and beaches are all inclusive. So you just pay that one fee for your vacation package. I don't have to worry about anything else.
And I will tell you, we did the Sandals Jamaica for our honeymoon. It's been years and years, but that really, you're not wrong about the luggage being a pain because, I mean, we brought stuff back and we're like, they're going to check it. They're going to know. They're going to know this is tucked in. But we did not get caught, luckily. Nothing terrible, nothing illegal, but just, necks and things that we didn't want to go through the whole process to talk about with customs. But to be able to just drop your luggage and stuff off is amazing. But also, if you're listening, don't sleep on it all inclusive because maybe after the $400 Lightning Lane thing goes away at Disney World, a Disney World all inclusive, if that goes well, people are like, oh, we might. What if it's $10,000 a day and you can just all inclusive Disney World? Because it's so strange to go to dinner and you just up and leave. There's no bill. There's no whatever. You're swimming up at the bar. We're not big drinkers, but when we were on honeymoon, there's a swim up bar. I'm already in the pool. I might as well have a drink. And
you can order as much as you want. So or if you want an extra side, order an extra side. And you're getting your money's worth and not more.
You walk by, there was a booth that just had nachos. And you're like, I can just add nacho cheese to anything I have all day. It's a dangerous proposition, the all-inclusive for that reason. I mean, it's a 20 pounds in a week kind of deal. But yes, really, a Sandals vacation, especially if you don't like the cold, that's the way to go. So, well, I appreciate all of this. This has been great. And I will put all of your information in the description and when we share it and make sure people know how to book you. And you want to tell people, what is your Instagram handle where I found you?
It's Jenny Plans Adventures.
And then you are, what is it on Facebook?
Same thing.
Jenny Plans Adventures. It's not one word because it's spread out, but it's all on there. So, but I will put all that information, and I thank you so much for being my guest. This has been great. And like I said, I'm excited about Christmas, but after that, when the winter really sets in, at our house, it's Christmas, and then that 26th through March will start really, the pouts come out. So,
yeah.
This is, if you have any of that going on at your house, give Jenny a call, get that fixed, and get out of the country, get out of your cold part of the town, and find somewhere warm and fun. So, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. This is great. Thank you very much.